We have seen Wisconsin's massive team success under Kelly Sheffield. How about some of the individual success the Badgers have had? 65 all Big Ten first team selections overall. That's the third most in conference history, as you see some of the names that have garnered those honors wearing the red. Mimi Colyer joins this list and joins Wisconsin after her terrific career at Oregon heading into 2025. And we are joined now by the head coach of the Badgers, Kelly Sheffield, 7 consecutive Elite Eights, and perhaps most impressively, 10 top 3 conference finishes in the last 12 years, and by far the deepest and strongest conference in college volleyball. Kelly, welcome in. As always, great to see you.
It's great to be here. Appreciate everything that you guys are doing. First of all, I'd like to say hi to a little girl, Georgia, and one of the most resilient people that I know. But thank you for having me.
Georgia, thank you for watching as well. Kelly, when you look back to 2024, I know the goal of Wisconsin is always to be the one team left standing at the end of the year. What was your overall takeaway?
The conference is strong. I mean, there's a little bit of a transition right now happening with coaching the past probably 5-6 years, and I think what we've seen is it doesn't drop during those transitions. The sport is important across the board to all of these schools and athletic departments. Really good hires, and the product that's going out on the court, I think the fans would agree, just keeps getting better and better.
Well, we saw matches, including some of yours, played in non-traditional, massive venues. We saw television broadcasts of volleyball sandwiched around NFL games, which had never happened before on networks that had never broadcast women's college volleyball. How would you describe where we are in the evolutionary stage of women's college volleyball, and how much room there is maybe still for even more growth and popularity?
We've come a long way, and we're nowhere near where we're capable of being. It's you see, like, media days, what we've been doing the last couple of days. Nobody is, if we got more conferences that would jump on board, that'd be great for the sport. We're leading the way here. I think we've got to do a better job of getting more games on TV the opening weekend of the NCAA tournament. We've got to be able to sell our product on our campuses during the summer. Right now, when we can't post anything of any of our kids working out where other sports can. There's a lot more things that we can do, but the direction that we're heading is awesome.
We obviously saw that direction change last year with the addition of the 4 West Coast schools. We all had expectations of what that would look like. What was the reality?
4 heavy traditional programs and fan bases that are there. We went to the LA schools. I thought the environments were great. Being able to talk with our players about the tradition, some of the elite players that have played in both those places. You're at UCLA and you're in that little side gym with the blue curtain that anybody that's been following our sport kind of knows about. But being able to talk about our players with some of those, we're looking forward to going up in the Northwest and sharing some of that this year.
You had 5 impact players graduate, 1 other transfer. What does that mean in terms of both challenges for you and your staff, but also the opportunities maybe it gives some other players?
It's part of what we do. I mean, we don't get to hold on to them forever, although some of them that you'd like to. They've had amazing careers. They're an image, a great image of the players that came behind them, of what work ethic and lonely practice and leadership looks like. But it's time for the new players to step up. It's their time. It's their stage, and I'm super excited to see what they're able to do.
Well, Carter Booth, certainly not a new player, but she's with you here today. She was all Big Ten second team last year, led your team in blocks. What's her next step in becoming an even better version of herself?
I think she's ready to be one of the best players in America. I think there's been a daily commitment to that is at a next gear than what it's been. More familiarity with the setter. Last year we had a freshman setter. I think those two are even more on the same page. Her leadership has gone to the different level. There's been nobody within our program that I've been more excited and proud of their jump than Carter. And a lot of times you say that about a younger player, but to say that as somebody going in their senior year, man, it fires you up.
Well, you mentioned that freshman setter, Charlie Fearbringer, had a nationally recognized freshman year. She was one of the top freshmen in the nation, number 2, I believe, behind Izzy Stark in assists per set. How much better can she be, and where do you see her improvement most obviously coming in her sophomore year?
It was baptism by fire. I think she started right before the season. She didn't have, she wasn't somebody that graduated a semester early. Sometimes that can really help with the freshman setters. I think she just got more and more comfortable as the season went on. You've got to be comfortable in your own skin and being able to run, communicate to people that are 5-6 years older than you, in some cases 5 years older, but I see her being a lot more comfortable going into year 2.
In addition to your returners and 5 incoming freshmen, you have the transfers that you got through the portal, the most notable being Mimi Colyer, who comes from Oregon, an All-American career with the Ducks. How important was that signing for you?
We celebrated like crazy that day. I mean, that was a fun office. We've gone against her. The type of how she not only performs, but you can tell when you're watching her that she loves to play the game. You can see fierce competitiveness, but you can also see somebody that has a love of playing. After getting on the phone with her, you could tell right away we were on the same page. Talking to Matt Ulmer, who coached her for the previous few years, had nothing but great things to say. And then we saw that in the spring when we got to work with her. Just a fantastic human she is.
Like Mimi, your 4 other transfers have a ton of combined match experience. Yeah. How much was that part of your overall philosophy when you guys went into the portal to fill those holes?
Yeah. I mean, it was important. I think we want to balance young and old. We graduated a lot of players, a lot of elite players. If you want to keep the standard high, you've got to. I think there could be a mix today of being able to bring in some transfers with the younger players. But Grace Egan, Grace Lopez, Allie Andrew. I mean, those are some really Jada Chernelia coming in here. Feels like I'm missing somebody here that I'm going to hear about it a little bit later. But we're excited about the people that we've got coming in.
I want to talk about your non-conference. It's a topic you and I have discussed in the past. You just mentioned Matt Ulmer. He's part of your non-conference. It includes Kansas, Texas, Marquette, and Florida. I know you want to play the best. You've told me that before. I'm more curious as to how important you think it is that these kind of matches stay in place early in the season, regardless of teams trying to worry about where they're going to be in the 500 mark, be eligible for NCAAs to continue this popularity rise we've seen with the sport.
It's what players want to be a part of. It's what fans want to watch. Elite teams playing against each other. In some of our venues, ours is one of them. Purdue, we were in Mackey this past year. I know them and IU are getting outside of their smaller gyms. And what Nebraska has certainly been a leader of is we're playing in front of sold-out fans night after night. So can we get in some of these venues to get more fans in there to see it in person? Coaches have responded to it. Administrations have gotten behind it, and it's been great for our sport.
Yeah, I know Dave Shondell was giving Steve Aird a ton of credit for being willing to give up a game in Bloomington to play it in Gainbridge to give more people a chance to see it. Yeah. But it's obviously great to play in your home gym as well. You have one particular home match this year. It's against Nebraska, and it happens to be on Halloween night inside the Fieldhouse. It's being called Fieldhouse after dark that night. I know you're not worried about that match right now, but when you start to think about environments like that on a night like that in Madison, how excited does that make you and the players?
The dungeon will be spooky, I guess. It'll be...
You knew I was going to ask that question, didn't you? You knew that was coming.
I didn't. But I can roll here with you.
Okay.
I can roll. Halloween night, I think in Madison, there's a great tradition. We haven't played a whole lot of Halloween nights in there, but it's too bad that we only play each other once this year. I think we've had some great matches, although maybe a little less great from our side the last couple of years. But the level of competition has been really, really high, and I'm sure you'll see some nice costumes probably in the old Fieldhouse that evening.
Yeah, I'm guessing you probably put your money on that. Obviously, it won't be John on the sidelines as he steps away after his legendary career. He coached so many classic matches against John. Guys know each other very well. Your thoughts on his retirement and the career he had?
Learned a lot from watching him and his teams. Anytime I picked up the phone and wanted to pick his brain, for the most part, he was pretty willing to do so, which I greatly, greatly appreciated. It was a model program of one of the things that we've been trying to do in Madison. That's one of right there at the top of who we've been watching. Not just trying to beat, because it's more than just trying to beat a team on the court, but trying to grow a program to be something that is lasting. And along with Terry Pettit before him, and I'm sure Danny is going to be great following up. But it's, they don't need me here singing their praises, but it was a heck of a career, a great career for John.
Kelly, I know there are probably different reasons that you get fired up for each season. When you start to think about what 2025 holds for you and you look at the roster and this mix of players, what excites you the most?
There's nothing like day one being in the gym. There's nothing like it. So we start practice here in a couple days and getting in there and starting to mesh. Players that have been around as long as Carter and some newer, younger talent. And get in there on court, off court, having almost a full month this year before even classes start. That's a really big deal in building a team, especially a team that is so many new pieces. So what am I looking forward to? Day one, absolutely.
I know this is an environment in which we get to learn about the players. We get to be a little bit looser. At what point do you start working on the Kelly Sheffield game face to get it in the spot that you want it to be when match one opens up?
It doesn't take much work, I'd guess. I will tell you this. I see one of our great players over there, Devin Robinson, who I think was with us for 8 or 9 seasons. So being able to go into a year without her, that's got to be painful right here. So sorry, Dev.
As I said, we can be a little bit looser during Big Ten Volleyball Media Days, learning about Coach Sheffield a little bit more, the Wisconsin program, and now we get to learn about some of your players. Obviously, Coach set the bar pretty high right now for this conversation. Elena, Holly?
Thanks, Rick. I'm confident this group is going to do just fine. Carter Booth, Mimi Colyer, welcome to Big Ten Media Days, the studio segment.
Thank you.
Obviously, we just heard your coach talking about that big group of veterans that have graduated from last season. Carter, you're a veteran returning to this team. Mimi, you're new to the Wisconsin volleyball program, but not to NCAA volleyball. What type of leadership roles have you guys taken on in this past spring and summer?
I think for me, the leadership has come from, bringing that sort of wisdom of the past, being the bridge, the link between our past teams and all these new girls that we've just gotten, and just sort of being that guiding light for people and leading by example.
Yeah, I think, I've been in college now for a couple of years, and we've got a lot of new girls, a lot of new faces, and I think just helping them get their footing with being a college athlete, being, a college volleyball player, there's a lot that goes into it. So just kind of showing the leadership in that way.
Mimi, your first year last year in the Big Ten. What made you want to come to Wisconsin?
Wisconsin is such a fun place to play. I played there twice in my career prior to coming here, and I think I went into the recruiting process knowing that I really liked Madison as a city. I loved playing the Fieldhouse as a competitor. They were cheering against me. I thought how fun would it be if they were cheering for me. I got on the phone with Kelly and, we vibed. It was a good conversation. It was a right fit. I really enjoyed it.
Carter, heading into your senior season, how have you seen your game grow? You've been holding down the Badger block for a couple of years now. That's obviously a big part of your game, but how have you seen your game grow since being a Badger?
I think I've just gotten smarter. I think I've really learned the power of smarter, not harder, really unlocking that tip, my off-speed shots, and then honing in on the minute little details of blocks, hand position, things like that. I think, I've just done a good job of finding the next level, even when the margins are so small up at this level.
Speaking of that, you and Charlie Furbringer on that gap ball last season, it was magic. Fun to watch. What have you worked on in the off season?
In the off season, I've worked on my footwork, my transition, just a lot of focusing on me to make her job as easy as possible. If I can get consistent and do the same exact footwork in the same spot every single time, then it's going to be really easy to find me, which is ultimately the goal. I mean, I want to get set as much as possible, and I think everyone else can agree. So, yeah.
Mimi, what's been your adjustment to Midwest volleyball from coming from Oregon, going to Wisconsin?
A lot of things, honestly. We just run a different system than I'm used to, so there was a lot of learning over spring between my passing and even the approach and the blocking and the serving. Like there's just, everything was tweaked, so it's been fun. There's been a lot of new learning.
Mimi, since coming to Wisconsin and joining this program, what's the best thing that you've learned about what it means to be part of Wisconsin volleyball, and just what have you learned about yourself, your teammates, and this program?
One of the things I was most excited about coming to Wisconsin is just the culture and the history behind the program. You say Wisconsin volleyball, and there's meaning behind that, and people know what you're talking about, and there's just a lot of history there. So I'm really excited to be a part of this program. Like I said, there's a lot of new girls, so we've done a lot of team bonding and just getting to know each other. And I've met some of my best friends here, and it's just been so much fun getting to hang out with them every day. And we're with each other all the time, and we're roommates now, and there's just a lot of really fun interaction between all the girls.
Carter, we talked about kind of next chapter, graduating those 5 players. How have you helped integrate all these new players into the mix in Wisconsin?
I think just really taking the lead on if I see something, say something, to the point of over communication, maybe a little bit irritating, but I'm fine with that. I'd rather people be irritated than not know what's going on. So I think just, over communication, really taking the reins and guiding us with a little bit of a heavier hand now so that when we get in season, I can sort of be more hands off.
The atmosphere in the Fieldhouse is absolutely incredible. Your fans pack it and they're waiting for hours for the doors to open. Carter, you've played there a couple of years now, so I'd love to hear what that atmosphere is like for you. And then Mimi, you've played there as an opponent.
Yes.
Now you get to have them cheering for you. So I'd just love to hear both of your individual experiences.
I think if I had to pick 2 words, they would be magical and electric. Like you could feel it in your body when you step out and the entire gym just erupts. I think there's no better feeling in the world, and it just never gets old.
Yeah, I mean, those fans are insane. I've never had an experience like it. Even in the spring, like those fans are just so passionate about the sport and about supporting us as female student athletes, and it's just so incredible, and they're just so knowledgeable, and they just want to cheer us on and support us. Even as a competitor in the gym, like I had never had an experience of people running in as soon as the doors open and this like general admissions filled out in seconds. They're so supportive of the sport, and I'm so excited to play in there again.
Mimi, your mom won a national championship at Long Beach State. How has she been part of your journey?
Yeah, she wanted me to do it on my own. She's been a little more hands-off. When I was 12, I was the middle to start with, and I accidentally ran a slide, which was like her thing, and she's like, you don't even know what you just did. Like, this is the start of everything. But she's my best friend. I talk to her about everything, call her multiple times a day, and she's just, she's my biggest supporter.
She planning some trips to Wisconsin, I hope?
Absolutely, absolutely.
For both of you, heading into your final seasons, what are your biggest goals and legacies that you want to end up leaving on this Badger program?
I think just because it's, I've got 1 year here, like I'm one and done. I just want to make my mark in this program, just be remembered in the short time that I have. Go out with a bang. It's senior year. Let's win a Big Ten. Let's win a national championship. Let's do all the things.
Yeah, I think I second that. I think it's leaving that legacy of she went out with a bang, went out at the top of her game. I think the first team All-American, the first team All-Big Ten, the Big Ten championship, the national champ, all those things. I think it's a long ticket, but I'm excited to see what we can cross off.
Looking at the upcoming schedule, any particular road trips or matchups you're looking forward to?
We were just talking about the Seattle trip.
Yes.
Because there's a Din Tai Fung in Seattle.
Oh, yes,
and it's my birthday.
And it's her birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously the match as well. That's the main focus. But definitely looking forward to Din Tai Fung.
Yeah.
With so many newcomers on your team, obviously you're building that chemistry on the court. But what have you guys been doing off the court together as a team this past spring and summer to build that culture?
We've done lots of pool days,
Yes.
lots of lake days. It's been nice in Madison.
We did axe throwing.
How was that?
It was great until an axe came out one of our faces and then we had to stop. But we're very safe in the name of safety. We did self-defense. I think we want to go to a shooting range soon. Kelly? Question mark? Allowed? I don't know, but we'll see.
What's it like playing for Kelly Sheffield?
It's an experience like no other. I think he's just he's the funniest guy. And you would never expect that, looking at him. And I think he really knows how to balance out being a dry wit goofball and then cracking down on you and being okay, you got to get it together.
Yeah. So especially coming in, our first meeting, I was just talking to Carter about this. We're sitting in the team room and I was what am I doing sitting next to Carter Booth? I'd been here for 2 days. It was awkward. And then Kelly walks in and Kelly starts talking. I was oh my gosh, Kelly's talking to me. I've only ever seen him obviously as a competitor and he's just staring at you across the net and it's super, super scary looking bald guy. And then he comes in and he's does this goofy laugh and he's just a Midwestern dad. It's just not what you would think. But no, he's awesome.
I heard he's also been adding the word slay to his vocabulary.
Stop. Don't encourage him.
It's slay.
He added
queen.
Riz as well.
He said Riz the other day.
What did he say? Bussing?
He said bussing.
He said great time to be bussing and Riz.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Someone's feeding that to him.
Yeah. It's his daughters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His children.
TikTok. One last kind of thing to end on. When people think of Wisconsin volleyball this year, this team, what do you want them to think about?
I want them to think of a story of just being resilient and really adapting to change and, rising to the occasion. I think people don't know what we're made of yet, and we're going to show them.
Can I say a little bit of a cuss word? Just a little one? No. No? Okay. Wasn't that bad of one. Well, that's the one that I had. Just don't know got it. Yeah, I liked yours. Resilient. Yeah, we're passionate about the game. We all really enjoy being in there every day. You go into the gym at any point, and there's always someone doing extra reps. And I'm just really excited for all that to come through during the season.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to watch you guys on the court. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Thank you.